My name is Twyla Baker, and I am the president of Nuita Hidatsa Sahnish College in Newtown, North Dakota, which is the tribally chartered college of the Mandan Hidatsa and Arikara Nation. I've been in that role for almost 4 years now, and it's an interesting job. There's never a dull moment, never a dull moment. There's always something going on. And I think I have a tendency to think that there's nothing like being a tribal college president. It's not like being a mainstream institution president because of the culture portion that I pay attention to and that I have in my mission, and we have worked into our vision as well, and the work that I do with. A lot of my background has been in working with tribal nations from across the country. So I was blessed that way because it helped me to see and understand that there is such diversity within the tribes themselves. And it's not just tribes, it's Alaska Natives, it's Native Hawaiians, it's all Indigenous people across Turtle Island, up into our First Nations relatives, and down into South America, all the way through. So knowing and understanding a lot of who I am as a enrolled member of MHA Nation, and also being a tribal member of, I'm of Mandan and Hidatsa descent, and primarily raised Hidatsa. Both of my parents were that was their first language, was Hidatsa, and that's what they kind of instilled in me, was this sense and understanding of our cultural lifeways. And that was my identity, and it was my solid base from where I was able to draw the strength and the ability and fortitude and understanding to be able to go out into the world and start doing work in higher education. It helped me get through my academic career, helped me to understand and know. It kind of really informed everything I did, and it still does to this day. It informs just about everything that I do, So from the day to day to the big things, to the big decisions, it really helps me to keep my compass. That's where I draw a lot of my purpose in life, and it's fun and it's rewarding, and it is so fulfilling to be able to do this job on behalf of my people, of my tribal people, and work within these different realms that allows me to travel throughout Indian country. And Indian country really is not limited to just like the reservations and things like that. Indian country is wherever you set foot. The whole place is Indian country. You are standing on Indian land whenever you're standing on Turtle Island. So there were a people, and there was an understanding, and there was a place that I think we probably could hardly fathom as modern as we like to call ourselves, people that existed here well before any type of influx of people from outside that realm. And I feel that we had this knowledge base that we had established millennia ago, from just thousands of years of intimate knowledge of the land and the space that we occupied. And we didn't just sit, although I think Mandans and Hidatsas kind of came to the closest to being like in one spot for a very, very long time. But we moved around. I mean, it was just like how it is today. People would migrate to different spaces, and there would be a great deal of mixing, intermarrying, intermingling, trade, cultural transference, that type of thing. That's how we influenced each other. That's how we managed our economy. We did a whole lot of things. There was a lot of things going on before anybody just came and discovered us. So there was a lot of life happening, particularly in this area. being in the Midwest and along the Missouri River, the Mandans and Hidatsas were kind of keepers of an economy and a trade. We were part of the largest trade corridor in the Midwest, and there was just it was just kind of like a place that people came to talk and to trade and to interact. And we feel those influences, and we find evidence of those influences to this day. There's been artifacts from the East Coast, West Coast, South America, and Canada found in this area. Mm-hmm. So we were very good hosts, and I like to think that we still do that. We still try to keep that tradition of being good hosts. And I guess I'm really super lucky in the fact that I am still living. My bloodline has been on this land in this particular area for thousands of years. So I like to refer to this place, not just like Bismarck Mandan, but the Missouri River, along the Missouri River, as the place where my spirit lives. And I've left this place for quite some time to go and pursue my higher education. But I would also have to come back and like replug in and recharge and get recentered, and then was able to return back to where I was doing the things I needed to do to get my degrees and such. But eventually home called. Home was like, and literally called, like picked up the phone and said, it's time for you to come home. You got your degree. I swear, I think I only had maybe about 3 months of work, if that, when I got a phone call from home saying, okay, well, we have this position and it's time for you to come home. And I was just happened to be in a situation where I'm kind of in this sandwich generation where I'm taking care of young children and taking care of aging parents. So my dad was getting older. He was needing someone to help take care of him. So it just kind of all came together in a good way. The position was waiting, and the folks that supported me made it very easy for me to move home, even with my enormous family. They provided avenues because they wanted me to be here doing this work, and I have a feeling that there was a divine intervention there. And we take that very seriously. We don't kind of talk about like spirituality or the spiritual side of things lightly. It drives a lot of what we choose to do and how we act and how we interact, and it's intermingled. There's no the separation isn't necessarily always there. As a matter of fact, it probably informs the work that we do because it makes us who we are. It's what causes us to be our particular selves, and I'm talking about my tribal nation, of course. So I was lucky that way, and then I came home, and then I happened to kind of stumble into being the president, and but it's such a great job, and it's there's challenges upon challenges, the same way any other higher education administrator has challenges with budgets and funding and legislation and what have you. But I think the rewards far outweigh all of that, in that we work to not just preserve, but to propagate and to revitalize our cultural lifeways in a very particular, in this very particular modern context that we live in, and expressing who we are as tribal people, as is our right, and to define and redefine and keep defining that into perpetuity for our young people. So, because they're the ones that are going to decide who we are as an MHA nation once we get older. So we want to make sure that they have that good grounding, that good understanding of these cultural lifeways and who they are, because that's going to be kind of their armor once they go out to the larger world. And that's how it served me. I was always different. I was always a little bit different. Well, not a little bit, a whole lot different. I was very different from like my classmates and such. I think about the times when because my background is in environmental geology and technology. So I'm sitting in a classroom. I'm already female. I'm already brown. I'm already, I'm about as niche as you can get. And I'm sitting in a classroom with a bunch of white males and finding my way, doing this work, this research and things like that. Like, I think back to my systematic botany class where I had to make this big collection of plants. Now, being a traditional person, I can't just take plants. I can't just cut them down. I have to lay down something for them to, like, the payment and things like that. My tobacco, that was an expensive class. 150 samples that I had to collect and dry and identify. But so rewarding, so very rewarding. I think I might have thrown my teacher off just a little bit, because I'd stop and I'd be like, I'd put my tobacco down and I'd talk to the plant and things like that before I could take it, before I could use it. And I know he was kind of looking at me a little sideways and stuff, and he didn't necessarily ask questions, so I offered that information. I just told him, this is how we do things. We don't just take things. We can't just take things. And I think he appreciated that, because I don't know if he was comfortable talking to me or asking me about it. He felt a little intrusive, I'm sure. But I mean, I don't know. I just wanted to make sure that he understood and knew, just in case he got another student like me. Because more and more of us are getting into higher education. More and more of us are getting into STEM, things like that. I'm not the last that you're going to see of, my particular type of student. So this is a good thing for you to know. This is a good thing for you to understand and to respect as well, and don't negate it, because clearly it's important to this person, to this student, and to their success, for them to be able to practice who they are and to live who they are, no matter the context. My academic side is not separated from who I am as a tribal person. I don't have to do that anymore. I don't refuse to walk in two worlds, as people say. That's always gets a little irritating to me, because I'm a whole person. I can't be split. I cannot be split. I went and I mastered this Western style of education, like literally mastered it, got a master's degree, got a PhD. I am a recognized expert in their recognition scale. Okay, I got that, I did that. Now I don't have to kin to that or split myself or walk in two worlds. Now this world has to kin to me. You have to adapt to me and know that I am Nuita Mia before I am anything else. So it's empowering to have that education, and to be able to watch our young people and to see. And I think